Welcome to Totally Naked Movie Reviews, where we review today's top movies, stripping them down to the bare essentials and exposing their faults and flaws. Today we're going to be looking at Star Trek Beyond. So this is the third in the J.J. Abrams remastered, rebooted, alternate reality Star Trek films. There was first the Star Trek one, which I liked. Then there was Star Trek Into Darkness, which I didn't really like at all. I just thought they were rehashing Star Trek 2. But this one, Star Trek Beyond, I thought did a good job. I liked this one because they came up with their own stuff. Let's get into the plot. So at the beginning, we see Kirk. He's on this diplomatic mission. He's coming from this one planet to offer a peace offering to these other aliens who look like these kind of iguana-looking things. And it's not going too well. He's giving them a weapon because the planet he's representing, that's kind of how they do peace treaties. They turn over a weapon. But the aliens he's talking to, they take it the wrong way, and they think he's threatening him. And their master's like, they're trying to destroy us. They're trying to eat us. And Kirk's like, what? And the guy starts running at him. He was in this big hall thing, and he's up, the master leader of the aliens. He's on the top. He starts jumping down, and all of a sudden you realize he's the size of a dog when he gets to Kirk. And he starts growling at Kirk, starts jumping on him, starts trying to bite him. All of a sudden, all these little dog-like aliens, or dog-sized aliens, I think they look like iguanas to me, start attacking Kirk, and then he beams out of there. His shirt's all ripped, and there's two of the little dog aliens with him. And I thought that was a pretty funny. And I didn't even realize they were playing with the sizes of the aliens. And they put the weapon in the vaults, and I'm like, we're going to see that thing again. So a little later, they go to this big-ass star base called Yorktown, and it's like it's enclosed in this giant globe, and it's got gravity, so it's got like cities, at the bottom, and then they're at the top, and it's all the way around, and it's like Inception. And I thought that was a pretty good effect. Kirk's talking to this admiral, talking about how he wants to retire. We find out that Sulu is gay and has a family on the side, which was interesting. The backstory behind that is that when George Takei, the actor who played the original Sulu, came out, they thought, you know what, I guess that makes Sulu gay. And then George Takei is like, whoa, no, Sulu wasn't supposed to be gay. Why are you making him gay now? And, Simon Pegg says, well, why would we just create a gay character? And that's all they're going to be. Let's take an established character and make him gay. And, of course, I think it works, It's not, I'm not going crazy because Sulu's now gay. I mean, we already went through that when George Takei came out. And I know the original Sulu, they never said he was gay. You'd see him flirt with the O'Hara every once in a while, but never said he was straight. So I think it works in this film. But, again, that's all it is a scene where his little daughter comes up, who we saw in Star Trek Generations when she grew up, and then all of a sudden this other Asian guy comes up, and, it could have been his brother for all we know, but then he gives him a hug. I was like, oh, I guess that's his husband. That's really the only thing we learned about Sulu. He's gay and he's got a family. They didn't really do anything else with it. So anyway, Spock also finds out that the original Spock has died. And, of course, that's because Leonard Nimoy has died. Although I thought it was interesting when he sees the picture and it lists his deaths, birth and death. It's 2030 to 2036 is when the story's taking place. Like, that's not entirely accurate. There should be an asterisk there or something. It should be like 2030 to 2290, when he left the original timeline. And then plus, I guess, 2057 or something like that when he came back into their new alternate timeline to 2063 when he died. So anyway, that happens, and then this alien shows up, and she's, through a distress signal, she's like, oh, my ship got attacked, can you help me out? And Kirk's like, oh, yeah, we'll just send the Enterprise out to go get it, help you. So they go out to the deepness of space, and then, so just out of the blue, they start getting attacked by this, swarm of ships that are just coming in like insects. Bees is what they later referred to them as. Just start blasting the Enterprise apart. They board the ship, start shooting people. A lot of red shirts get killed in this. And as this is happening, you're seeing the Enterprise getting destroyed. The nacelles break off. The bottom part breaks off, and then it's just the saucer ship, and like a part of the neck is still there. And Kirk's running through the ship, trying to get the saucer part to disconnect from the neck part. Bones and McCoy have taken over an alien ship. And a lot of action. Like I said, it was just out of the blue. I mean, if you watch the trailers, they get attacked by this swarm of alien robot ships. But I was not expecting it to happen just like that. I thought there'd be some setup at the beginning where you see these robot ships attack some other Federation ship at the beginning or a star base. And I thought the movie would be about, this swarm thing. I mean, it is, but it really isn't. And so the Enterprise gets destroyed and the crew gets separated. And we see Kirk's with Chekhov and the one alien chick who had basically set this whole thing in motion. You've got Bones and Spock are teaming up. Spock got hurt. A little jagged piece of metal in it, and there's some humor there when McCoy's taking it out. Scotty got out on a torpedo, ends up meeting this alien chick, and she explains that the bad guys who run under this guy called Krall. That's basically what they do. They lure ships into their part of space around their planet, and then they attack it. And they take the crew, and they harvest all the machine parts. And a few survivors make it down to the planet, and they live as scavengers, like her. Her name is Jayla, and I thought she was an interesting character. She's a scavenger on the planet. She knows all about technology. She lives in a spaceship that crashed there years ago. And she fights people off with a big stick. Why does that sound familiar? So anyway, like I said, she lives in a spaceship, and it was a Federation ship called the Franklin that crashed there 100 years ago. And eventually, Kirk, Chekhov, Bones, and McCoy, they all end up there with Scotty and this chick. And they plot a rescue to free Sulu and Uhura and everyone else. They go to the rescue thing, and they free everyone else. Then they realize the bad guy Krall's going to go to Yorktown, destroy everything there. They chase after him. They expose his secret about him. They learn that he was the captain of that spaceship who crashed there years ago, and he's some guy who just hates the Federation and everything it stands for. So he's going to destroy Yorktown, kill millions of people. And of course, they stop him. So that's basically. So yeah, I did enjoy the movie. I thought stylistically it looked awesome. There wasn't a lot of lens flares in this one. A lot of the destruction of the Enterprise. A lot of good comedy between Bones and Spock, especially with the necklace bit. I don't want to spoil everything, but no, I've already done that. So they're trying to find Uhura and Sulu and all their people. And Spock says, well, you could track for this Vulcan mineral. And they're like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, her. She's got this necklace that I gave her. And they had shown this when they got to the Yorktown. They were explaining how Spock and Uhura had broken up. She wanted to give him the necklace back because it belonged to his mother. He's like, no, you keep it. That's how gifts work. We Vulcans don't re-gift. And he's like, yeah, it's got this radioactive trace to it. And Bones is like, you gave your girlfriend a radioactive necklace? And Spock's like, no, it's not harmful. It's, but you can track her with it. You gave her a tracking device. Funny stuff. And I like the comedy. The only problems I had with the movie was, one, thanks to the trailers, a lot of stuff is really predictable. Like I said before, you knew the Enterprise was going to get just the shit kicked out of it by these alien swarm guys. And, that happens. And right away I was trying to figure out, okay, so the Enterprise gets destroyed, and they want to make more movies. What's going to happen? And I'm like, I remembered how the one admiral on the spaceship the space station had been talking to Kirk about how the only other ship she had was this one under construction. I'm like, that's going to be Enterprise A at the end of the film. And yeah, like I kind of knew that the bad guy would turn out to be the captain of the crashed, Franklin, because you had seen Idris Elba like in the previews without the makeup on, and now you're seeing him play, the alien guy, and it's like, okay, we know what's going to happen here. It's going to turn out to be the captain of the spaceship. The only real thing that wasn't unpredictable was the beginning with the big aliens, and the guy gets pissed off when he gets to Kirk. He's the little dog like. I didn't see that coming. The rest of it, it's pretty predictable. It's like when the one chick who lured them into the trap, Kirk and Chekhov go back to the wreckage of the Enterprise to find that device. She puts a gun to Kirk and she's like, wow, you really believe in sob stories? It's like, you already knew she was going to betray him and she was bad. I mean, from the moment that they had been lured into the trap. Of course, Kirk must have figured it out. It was predictable also because he had Chekhov behind her with a gun. Chaos ensues and then she ends up getting squashed. That was a good scene because I didn't like that chick. I was like, I wasn't buying into this whole story of hers where she's like, I did anything for my crew. It was like, nah, she's a bad guy. And I just want to see her get squashed. And she got squashed. And like I said, with that device, it's a MacGuffin. It's going to come back. Not a MacGuffin. It's a Chekhov's gun. Bad metaphor, but it was something that seemed insignificant that they were going to bring back up. Like the necklace, even though I didn't realize they'd use that as a tracking device. I just thought it was a simple thing. It's like, hey, we're breaking up. You want the necklace back? Focus, don't regift. But yeah, everything else seemed predictable. And I blame the trailers for that. I'm kind of having an issue with movies now. They just want to put out 4 or 5 different trailers for their movies. And with every trailer, you learn a little bit more about what's going to be in the movie. So when you get to the movie, you're like, oh, I know what's coming up because it's all in the trailers. I know what's coming up because it's all in the trailers. And you do. But as far as the movie itself, like, I've never seen the trailers. Maybe everything wouldn't have been that predictable. Also, I like the bad guy's motivation. They keep it a mystery throughout most of the film. I'm figuring out, why does he want to destroy the Federation? What's his problem? And then when it's revealed, it's kind of, well, that's it. He was a guy who was a soldier, and then when the Federation came up, there was no more wars. Well, first off, anyone who's seen Star Trek knows there's always going to be another war around the corner. They tried to do their best to keep peace, but, Borg show up, war. They piss off the Klingons, war. It's like, just calm down, buddy. And like, the device that he was going to use to destroy everything, I didn't really understand how that worked. But no, aside from that, it was a very, very good film. A lot of good comedy, a lot of good action, a lot of good acting. And one other thing, I guess, like I said, they said goodbye to Prime Spock, Leonard Nimoy. Also, this was the last one we'll see of Anton Yelnats as Chekhov, and I wish they had done more with him. I mean, they didn't have any idea he was going to die, but I wish there had been some more Chekhov. And let's get into rating. Now, if you watch my show, you know that I base my rating on the money I spent and how much I thought it was actually worth it. Well, for this one, I spent $10.50 to see Star Trek Beyond, and I think it was worth about $8.50 of that. I'm taking $2 off for being predictable and problems with the bad guy's motivation, how he's going to destroy Star Trek. But aside from that, I think you should go and see it if the price is $8.50.